how's it going? Okay, so this concept is useful when you are creating custom hooks and you have a lot of states, use effects that you want to use only in a specific hook, and then you want to return a function that will do something using the hooks, well, using the states and arguments that you're passing into it. So, fundamentally, it's just JavaScript. Alright, just fundamentally, it's JavaScript stuff. So, you can think of it as a function that returns another function, and then you can call that other function with arguments. Right, so look, we have function 1. Here we can have hooks. Let's say, I don't know, state 1. And then I'll just explain it real quick, okay? So we have states in here, a bunch of, I don't know, code that you don't want anywhere to exist other than in this function. And then, based on that, you return another function that accepts arguments. Okay? So we're going to be mixing stuff from here and then mixing stuff from here. Now I'm thinking to myself, why not just push the arguments into this? Anyway, I just saw it in our code, so I just gotta make a video on this. So I don't get confused if I see stuff like this in the future, right? But in here we have a bunch of stuff, then we have function that returns, and it takes arguments, okay? And then we are okay, so now how do we call this function? So the first thing we do is we assign a variable to this function, and then we call it. And then finally, we can call this function here with arguments, and then it will trigger this function. To be honest with you, you can kind of do this too. This will work. Yeah, so you see this will also work if you just do it this way. But for readability purposes, it's probably better if you just assign it to a variable and then call the variable, which is going to be probably easier. And then you get your final result, which is going to be this. Okay, so how do you build it? First, we'll create our hook. You can actually just go like this: function my hook 1. No arguments, right? So here we have a bunch of state. Const state 1 equals, I don't know, let's do 3, 2, 3, whatever. Whoopsie. And let's do another state: const use memo 1 equals 2. And then we're going to return another function with 2 arguments, arg1, arg2. Return state 1 plus use memo 1 multiplied by arg1, whoopsie, plus arg2. Like, this stuff doesn't really matter. It can be anything. It can be API calls, whatever, right? But I mean, if it's API calls, you have to make it async. But anyway, this can be like states, basically. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So now, what do? We want to let we can create. Okay, let's call it sum me up equals, and then we call the hook my hook 1 like this, and then finally let result equals, and then we call this, Because right now this is calling this thing, which results in basically this function. So now we want to push the arguments in. So what we do is we use this, and then we push arguments. Let's say 4 and 8. And now we can console log our result. I don't even know what's going to be. 28. There you go. So fundamentally, like, the trick is we put mumbo jumbo in here, which only exists in this function, and then we return another function with arguments, and then we do our transformations. Honestly, I have no idea why would you not just put arguments in. Oh, that's because inside of this function there could be many different functions. Many different... Wait. Oh, yeah. So you can do... Hold on a sec, let me just think. Anyway, I looked at the code and I don't understand why it's being done this way, but okay, fine. You know, it's like some kind of a thing, anyway. But just be aware that you can do that. Okay, just be aware. Let's call it function returning the function. And that's it. Take care, bye-bye.